quantified virus isolates of the very thing that we're claiming exists. Why the fact that that can be the case, and yet right now, this very moment, we have the state of New York have bill. It's not passed yet, but we have bills that are right now in committee that relate to what they claim is just, well, simply the removal of cases, contacts, and carriers of communicable diseases who are potentially dangerous to public health. Well, that sounds pretty innocuous, right? Well, wait until you find out what it really says. Well, first of all, this is a bill right now that's in committee right now. It says, upon determining by clear and convincing evidence that the health of others is or may be endangered. So an objective perspective by the very local government that has already lied to you about any number of things and created, a situation where they've got like a third or almost more than a third of all the deaths in the entire country in 3 different locations, one of them being New York. But just think about that. These are the same people that chose to put people, the way that they responded in regard to the nursing homes and so on. Bottom line is, we have a lot of reason to question their decision-making process. So here they are saying, well, if we decide that if this person in general, their health situation that we deem to be whatever we say it is, endangers everybody else, well, we can take action, and they may pose an imminent and significant threat to the public health. The individual, the point is the governor, may order the removal and or detention of that person and or group of people by issuing a single order. So, hypothetically, it could be you as a sick person because they think you may be sick or think you may eventually get sick based on whatever new technology we're using. Or they could say, well, that whole group, that whole protest or that whole whatever that was out at that one time, well, they're all need to be detained right now because we know they're at risk. You see how this can be abused and played however they want it to go? Well, people, okay, first of all, people are going, well, maybe that's just for the best interest. It's not like they're going to do anything like, I don't know, force you to get oh, wait a minute, here's where it talks about that. In addition to the removal or detention orders referred to in subdivision 2 of this section, and without affecting or limiting another authority that the commissioner may otherwise have, the governor, his or her delegate may, in his or her discretion, on and on, all the, the legalese stuff, issue and seek enforcement of, and here's where it gets important, any other orders that he or she determine are necessary.
As soon as the loss took place, I said, but I looked at all these great polls. Uh-huh. As soon as the loss took place, I said, I'll tell you what, assuming I'm in a good position, assuming all of the things that you have to assume, which are many, I'm going to run next time. I said it to myself. And I sat back and I said, what would be a good expression? Because I knew what was going to happen with respect, because as you know, President Obama was not doing very well at that time. Mm-hmm. And I said, what would be, and I just sat back and I said, let's do this. I said, well, make America great. And I had started off, we will make America great. Uh-huh. That was my first idea, but I didn't like it. And then all of a sudden it was going to be make America great. But that didn't work because that was a slight to America, because that means that it was never great before. Uh-huh. And it has been great before. So I said, make America great again. I said, that is so good. I wrote it down. I went to my lawyers. I have a lot of lawyers in-house. We have many lawyers.
Our country will thrive and prosper again. We stand at the birth of a new millennium, ready to unlock the mysteries of space, to free the earth from the miseries of disease, and to harness the energies, industries, and technologies of tomorrow. A new national pride will stir our souls, lift our sights, and heal our divisions. It's time to remember that old wisdom our soldiers will never forget, that whether we are black or brown or white, we all bleed the same red blood of patriots. Your voice, your hopes, and your dreams will define our American destiny. and your courage and goodness and love will forever guide us along the way. Together, we will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Of this artificial event that took place 2 months ago, and I'm going to build the country into stronger and better than it was even then. And outside of this artificial event that took place 2 months ago, and I'm going to build the country into stronger and better than it was even then. And
you have no right not to be vaccinated. You have no right not to wear a mask. You have no right to open up your business.
Wait, can I stop you? No right not to be vaccinated, meaning if they decide you have to be vaccinated, we have to be vaccinated?
Absolutely. And if you refuse to be vaccinated, the state has the power to literally take you to a doctor's office and plunge a needle into your arm. If the vaccination
Where is that in the Constitution?
If the vaccination is designed to prevent the spreading disease. If the vaccination is only to prevent a disease that you will get, for example, if there's a disease that will kill you, you have the right to refuse that, but you have no right to refuse to be vaccinated against a contagious disease.
A United States Supreme Court case in which the court upheld the authority of states to enforce compulsory vaccination laws, the court's decision articulated the view that the freedom of the individual must sometimes be subordinated to the common welfare and is subject to the police power of the state.
Sorry, let me repeat that now I'm closer to the mic. Do you mean a fully approved vaccine for everyone, the full public, or a partially approved vaccine with emergency use?
No, we're looking for a full vaccine for everyone that wants vaccine. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, Will.
Please. Yes.
Don't tell anybody I told you this. Especially don't tell Donald Trump.
That there are actually more cases of polio from the oral vaccine than occurring in nature. That's confirmed by the World Health Organization and Associated Press. It's not even really controversial to say. I've listened to the experts.
That during the next 4 years, we hope to get an HIV vaccine, that's been harder than people expected. I talked about polio, where by getting the vaccine for polio out to so many children, we find ourselves with less than 50 cases last year. So,
issue of safety, something that I want to make sure the American public understand. It's not only safety when you inject somebody and they get maybe an idiosyncratic reaction, they get a little allergic reaction, they get pain. There's safety associated. Does the vaccine make you worse? And there are diseases in which you vaccinate someone, they get infected with what you're trying to protect them with, and you actually enhance the infection. You can get a good feel for that in animal models. So that's going to be interspersed at the same time that we're testing. We're going to try and make sure we don't have enhancement. So the worst possible thing you could do is vaccinate somebody to prevent infection and actually make them worse.
we're going to start manufacturing doses of the vaccines way before we even know that the vaccine works.
That ain't true. Yeah, it is.
Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
I've received some hate mail from citizens of Gotham. Let's see what sort of wisdom they have to impart on me. Dear Bane, I think masks are for wimps and also cause breathing problems. Well, yes, you know, except for all the doctors and nurses and firemen and everyone else that you call heroes who wear them all day, sometimes for 15 to 20 hours. Okay, let's see. Dear Bane, if you wear a mask, it's because you live in fear, and I am not afraid. Do I look like I live in fear of anything? I'm wearing this mask for you, the people of Gotham, who I can't help but notice are not social distancing. I'm not afraid of getting sick. I'm afraid of getting you sick and being responsible for your untimely deaths. Now I have to go all over town administering my miracle cure to everyone, everywhere. Do you think I want this? Do you think this is fun for me? I'd rather be working on my own goals, like being a guest on The Masked Singer. Why aren't you wearing a mask?
Answer him!
I was asking you.
Well, I just don't want to wear one myself. It's a recommendation. They recommend it. I'm feeling good. I just don't want to be doing, I don't know, somehow sitting in the Oval Office behind that beautiful Resolute desk, the great Resolute desk. I think wearing a face mask as I greet presidents, prime ministers, dictators, kings, queens, I don't know, somehow I don't see it for myself. I just maybe I'll change my mind, but this will pass, and hopefully it'll pass very quickly. Now,
your mask is backwards. It's covering every part of your body except your mouth. COVID breaker! You're not welcome here unless you follow our policies.
My God, so where is it okay to, like, not wear a mask?
In the car. Don't come back here until you put on a proper
Mask-like facial covering, I think for the time being, should be a very regular part of how we prevent the spread of infection. And in fact, the more and more as you go outside, right here and where I'm sitting in Washington, D.C., you can see many people out there with masks on, which gives me some degree of comfort that people are taking this very seriously.
in theory, you don't need the mask. I'm getting used to the mask, and the reason is, think about patriotism. Maybe it is, it helps. It helps. Now, we have experts that have said in the recent past that masks aren't necessarily good to wear. You know that. But now they've changed their mind. If they change their mind, that's good enough for me. So I wear it when appropriate. Please.
It's also a way to easily determine who's compliant and who's not. Who does the propaganda work on and who it doesn't? Now get this, there's some ironies that are here, right? A society that kills millions of babies a year for convenience has shut itself down to prevent adults from dying. People that on the one hand slaughter babies in the womb by the millions are now preaching to the masses about the sanctity of human life. It's double speak, double talk. It's the two doctrine policy, one for the initiated, one for the uninitiated, one for the inner circle, another for the masses. It's like saying, if I violate the stay-at-home order, I can be arrested, but you're letting convicted criminals out of prison so they don't get coronavirus.
That ain't true. Yeah, it is.
You pump. I mean, it looks just like it's meant for a horse, not for a child. 2 years old, 2.5 years old, a child, a beautiful child, went to have the vaccine and came back, and a week later got a tremendous fever, got very, very sick, now is autistic.
Dr. Carson, you just heard his medical take.
He's an okay doctor.
That ain't true.
So I know you've said you talked with President Trump about innovation generally. Did you talk with him about vaccines when you met with him?
Absolutely.
I was asking you.
Because I got antibodies.
And you think this makes you immune? What if I told you I just discovered a cure? And you would never have to worry about wearing a mask ever again.
What, like a vaccine?
I'm administering it now. Do you see how effective it is?
Many have died trying. I learned here that there can be no true despair without hope. So, as I terrorize Gotham, I will feed its people hope to poison their souls.
Who said, would you take it? I said, I'll take it if they want, or I'll go first or last. I'll do whatever they want me to do. But I would think that the elderly, the people that are most vulnerable to the disease, and we're actually making those lists right now, mostly nursing homes and retirement centers. When a vaccine is ready, the U.S. government will deploy every plane, truck, and soldier required to help distribute it to the American people as quickly as possible.
If you're working alone, wear a mask. I'm not afraid to be seen standing up to these guys.
The mask's not for you. It's to protect the people you care about. Count to 5, then throw.
What now?
All-out assault on Bane. But you need to get people across the bridge.
Why?
In case we fail, lead an exodus. Save as many lives as you can.
You don't need me here?
You've given me an army. Now go.
Cases that we do have a vaccine, you know, it's a massive job to give this vaccine. Our military is now being mobilized, so at the end of the year, we're going to be able to give it to a lot of people very, very rapidly.
And you're just doing something with syringes as well, so that you can have it plentiful.
That's
right. You have enough vaccine.
We will have the tremendous force, because assuming we get it, then you have to distribute it.
Right.
And unless you're mobilized and ready, you're not going to be able to do it for a long time. So we're starting now. We're of the assumption that by the end of the year, we're going to have a vaccine.
You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
You guys are next level. You are true masters of villainy. The Lords of Chaos, the real League of Shadows. You've done what the Batman could not do. You have defeated me. So congratulations on the downfall of Gotham that I had nothing to do with, despite my best efforts. I wish you luck, and I bid you adieu. I'm going to lay down now.
The whole thing is nothing more than a construct of belief. Our chains are chains of the mind, and the path to freedom must also begin in the mind. If we want a better future for our children and grandchildren, we must work right now to reach a critical mass of awakening.
Call the doctor, heard the chopper, make him do the Macarena. All you niggas sweet as candy, chocolate chip, an hour later, Jolly Rancher, stick a bubble gum and watermelon flavor, get the paper on. On the corner, heard you niggas got the juice, but I got Corona. Got a little Spanish bitch, I call her Maricona. Jonah Lucas, bitch, I'm hotter than the fucking sauna. Yeah, I make them niggas celebrate. All you new niggas don't do it for me, low. Bitch and the professor, you a student to me, what? Designer shades on, like you cooler than me, wait. All we do is win, you a loser to me.
Who is going to throw out the first pitch, but with a little added extra.